So, what do we want to say? Come up here and let's all together we'll introduce you. We'll pretend like you are not who you are, but you are other people, and we'll say really nice things about you. How about that? So, Kirk and Donny are, I had somebody once who I think was sort of astonished at how well my business was doing, and they said to me, "Who teaches you about business? Who is your coach? What is going on?" It was very interesting because I don't think they were actually that interested in anything else except figuring out what was the secret behind my success.
Mm-hmm.
So the secret behind my success is Kirk and Donny.
Mm-hmm.
They also happen to be healing me. And they've been at the birth of both my babies. When I first saw them on stage, my goodness, about 4 years ago, I knew that God intended for 2 babies to be birthed through me. And I knew that my life was in a very different place than I needed it to be in order for that to happen. Because I didn't just want to have kids, but I really wanted to be a conscious mom. And there was a lot of healing that needed to be done between where I was and where I am today with my 2 kids in the other room. So if that's not a testimonial, I don't know what is. So Kirk and Donny are going to, hopefully, I hope that you provoke people. I hope it's a provocative conversation.
Well, that's all we do, really.
It's an adult conversation. Exactly.
Even if it's soft, it'll kind of be provoking.
Yeah. It's the carry a big stick and walk softly kind of thing, except that's not at all what they are. And they're also like the funnest people ever, right? So this is not just deep and potent. I think one of the greatest gifts that they bring is they bring joy.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're really ready to transform what is painful into bliss, welcome Kirk and Donny.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, welcome, everybody. My name's Donny.
And my name is Kirk.
And we're very happy to be here with you and to greet the virtual audience out there.
Yes,
Welcome.
hello, namaste.
And we have so much we want to share with you and so little time. Isn't that always the way? But we'll...
Is there going to be a clock?
Oh, yes. Are we going to have a clock? Otherwise, we'll just go all night.
We will.
Yeah.
And we love to.
Yes. But I wanted to tell you a little bit story because I thought it'd be interesting for you because if you wanted to know, Kirk and I are actually testaments to the fact that Craigslist work. Because Kirk and I met on Craigslist. and we are now married. We've been married for 7 years. We met on Craigslist about 9 years ago, and I had answered Kirk's
Some
ad.
hoochie-coochie ad.
Hoochie-coochie ad. And we weren't looking for husbands at all. We're just looking for a little fun. But you know what happened? The next thing that happened was his house burnt down. Yes, it's true. We had been dating for a while, and we were starting to think about moving in together. And that morning, he spent the night at my house, and which was only half a mile away from where I lived. And at the time, I was taking yoga with a teacher. It's a 6:30 a.m. class.
And you have to know that I really, really, really loved him because I was driving him to yoga at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Yes. And it just so happened Kirk's house was just a few blocks away from the yoga studio. San Francisco is a small area. So he took me to the yoga class, and so he dropped me off there, and he was going to go back to his house. And so I was saying Om and getting ready to start the asana class with my teacher, and all of a sudden the door rang at the studio, and I thought, who could be ringing the door at 6:30 in the morning? I mean, I was the only one in the class, and it was Kirk, and he stood there, and I thought, well, went through my mind, did you forget your key? Did you forget your phone? What is this? And he looked at me, he just said, my house burnt down. And I thought, you must be kidding, this is a joke. And then I looked at him again, and I said, no, it's not a joke. His house burnt down. And during that night, a fire had started in the next building, spread to his house. He was renting a rather large house, and that was the end of the house. It went down. And so he had nowhere to go, and it was one of the 1 out of 2 moments in my life where I said, I'm married! Did you ever hear of a shotgun marriage between 2 men? I think we're the first case. So that's how we came together. And, when we came together, we knew that we had something going. And we, at the time, all those years ago, we didn't know what it was. And we knew we had something that we were going to do together. And so just to give it a name, we called it the Kirk and Donny Show. and that was our name. But then we quickly found out what it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much we want to share with you, but the first thing I wanted to do was to sort of help you summarize all the things that we've done this weekend in terms of the reason you came here. I'm sure you're all here because you're interested in making money. And one of the things I said about making money in my little presentation when we had the panel here a couple days ago was one of the gifts Lindsay has given us was sane money making. And so what I'm going to do is I want to tell you what the 3 steps are to sane money making. So you're going to want to write this down. This is honestly worth coming, I mean, of course, Lindsay's worth coming for, but this is the summary of what you'll be doing through your whole entrepreneurial career, these 3 steps. This is really it. I mean, it's in an overview. And then after I do that, we'll talk about what your next step will be and how we fit into that picture and why what we do is going to be important for you. So really, you know, you get emails all day long from all these teachers saying, you know, do this e-zine or push this button or this method, and look at my student made $20 million overnight. And you know, for the 1%, you know, it's true, I'm sure. There is that 1%. But for the bulk of us, what we need to do, and Lindsay is a great advocate and has taught us, is you have to follow a sane plan of money making. It is possible. It is not that hard. You just have to follow the 3 easy steps. Like I said, a responsible 12-year-old could do it. Beloved, didn't you say at 5 years old you're already making money? I mean, good heavens. You see, it doesn't take a PhD. 3 M's of money making. You want to write this down. This is very important. The first M of money making is method. You know, money, you can think of money as a spiritual power, and it's falling all around you like rain. Honestly, that's what it is. It's an energy that's falling around you like rain. And so your job as an entrepreneur is to collect it. Just like the rain falls down on the Hawaiian Islands and it's a desert area, they have these catchments they build, and they put them next to the house, and all it does is collect the water. Because if you don't have a catchment, all that rain that they get all the time is just going to go into the ground. It's not going to be able to go into a way that you can use it. You need to have a big tub with a big funnel on it so that you can catch the rain. That's what your method is. You have to have a method. And many of you have methods. You know, you have your business, you have something going. That is your method. But it's not the only thing. If you just had a method, you wouldn't be making money because there are 2 steps to go. Yes, you'd make some money. Yes, you would. But it wouldn't be sustainable. So the next M to making money, after you have your method, you have your business, you have the way you make money, is what we call mind, body, stories. Now, many teachers talk about this, and they'll talk about mindset. But our work that will tell you a little bit about and explain to you is not just about mindset, it's about the body. Because what mindset is talking about is the consciousness. Remember that money, it's not just a piece of green paper, that's just the representation. What money is in essence, and this is important to remember, money is consciousness. That's what money is, it's consciousness. Just like when you when you learned how to swim or you learned how to ride a bike, that didn't have to do with skill, it had to do with consciousness. Yes, somebody could tell you, put your foot here, put your hands there, and then push. They could tell you that, but you had to find your own balance. Nobody could teach you that. You had to, with trial and error, you had to become conscious of balance in order to ride a bicycle. And that's the same thing with money. And in the second step, mind, body stories, is where you'll take that consciousness. Very quick story. I used to be a stock trader way back in the go-go 90s. And it's the same deal, so I can use that story. Our teacher told us, our stock trading teacher told us the story. He was also a psychiatrist. There was a man who had a gorgeous method. He was a stock trader, and every morning he would trade AOL stock. Remember, this is back in the 90s. It was a different day. And he would make $10,000 a day trading AOL. Then after he made that $10,000, he would then proceed to lose it. Every day he would make the $10,000. Then he would lose it, so that by the end of the day he was at zero. His wife begged him, just stop trading after a couple hours and go play golf. Don't do anything. Stop. He would not stop. He just had to lose it. Then with his work with Dr. well, anyway, my teacher, Elder, that was his name. What they found out was, through the sessions, was that his father was a boat builder, and his father used his hands and was busy with his hands all day making boats, that kind of craft work. And his father just said to his son, who had made this money on the stock market, "You're not working. What are you doing there at the computer? That's not working." Mm-hmm. And so that was the belief, the consciousness that the trader had in his mind, that he wasn't really working. He wasn't really making money. And so that's why he had to, shall we say, give it back. He could not take the $10,000, cash it in, and go play golf. He had to give it back because he wasn't really, in his mind, working. That was his body story. It didn't matter that he was an expert trader and he had all the method in the world that could make the money. He wasn't lined up in his body.
Yeah.
Last piece. We have those two pieces. That's very nice. But the third piece is the last piece that you'll need to make sustainable money. Because you can get lucky and make $1 million or what. If you pick a number, I don't care, $500,000. If you don't have the mindset, you're not going to keep it. If you don't have this last piece, you're not going to keep it either. And this last piece is simply manage. I forget how to spell it.
Manage, A-G-E.
Manage.
Mm-hmm.
Money management. Now, this this does not mean having an investment advisor and accountants. It could include that. I'm not saying it doesn't, but you have to be conscious of where your money is coming and going. That's something Kirk and I, shall I say, we failed at. we made $500,000 at one of our events, and through sales, we did not keep the money because of poor management. And that was before we met our beloved Lindsay, and things have changed since then. So we know a little bit more about money management. Quick story about money management. Say, what is he talking about? She tells a story on stage. So this is a public story. I don't have to worry about confidentiality. She tells you this story on stage. Marianne Williamson, a very famous spiritual leader, I'm sure most all of you know, tells the story on stage about how when she started speaking and spreading her spiritual wisdom, that she was making all kinds of money. And so she had her method. She had her mindset. She's a spiritual leader. Boy, did she have it lined up. She did not have management, because what happened was she said, I don't want to know about the figures. I don't want to know about the money. I'm just giving it to my money man, and that's it. I don't want to know. She lost all the money. He ran off with it to Cuba. I don't know where he went. He ran off of it somewhere. She did not have proper management. And I don't mean she chose the wrong person. That's not what I meant. She refused to be conscious of where her money going. That doesn't mean she had to be there and doing all the accounting and doing all the bookkeeping, but she refused to be part of the process of the management. No matter where you are, whether you're making $1 million or $10 million, and you have all the teams of people, you may not just leave it to them and not look at it. That's not proper management, so that's the third piece. Now, most people, if they're just starting out in being an entrepreneur, they tend to focus on the method. Just tell me what button to push, tell me where to go, and I'll do it and I'll make $1 million. That's where you tend to concentrate if you're a beginner. And what people that are more intermediate maybe have been at this game a little longer, and they've made some money, sure, but then they've come across some blocks. And it's not coming so easily anymore as it did at the beginning, or it's not coming at all. And that's when the intermediate money man people, entrepreneurs, tend to start thinking about mind and body stories. And then those people that are very advanced, all they're thinking about is management. I shouldn't say all, but that's a big part of what they're doing. They're just managing their money in different ways. Now, many of you have already come beyond this first part that and Lindsay is certainly helping us. You can always tweak your method as we've seen things change. Facebook ads change. I have to re-educate myself. I used to know about Facebook ads, but it's all changed. I have to re-educate yourself. So we're tweaking this method. But this is the part that we're going to talk to you about today, mind and body stories. Because as I said, consciousness, or rather money is consciousness. That's really all it is. Where is consciousness? Consciousness is not just between your ears. That's not where consciousness is. Consciousness is in every cell of your body. And this is what the ancients knew. This is not new information or knowledge, but this is a teaching that we can take to the production of money. Because money is a spiritual power. It's just like love. When my teacher said, I had a gorgeous spiritual teacher, and I love him so much, and we were talking about this whole entrepreneurial thing. He said to me, Donny, I have enough money. I have this job, and I have enough. I don't want any more money. I'm done. I just have enough money. And I said to him, beloved, suppose I said to you, I have enough love. I don't need any more love. I have enough love in my life, and I don't want any more love from anybody because I have enough. I think you would say to me, beloved, Donny, why are you limiting yourself? So I said to him, and I challenged my own teacher, what is the difference between love and money? And I really mean that seriously. What is the difference? They're both spiritual powers. Yes, one is denser than the other. But what is the difference? So that's where we begin our story.
Mm-hmm. And in fact, maybe that's where we'll end the story too. So take a moment. Close your eyes. This is not a big meditation. Just kind of close your eyes. Think of someone that you really, really love. And notice what you're feeling. What are the feelings, the sensations, the energy that's happening in your body? And open your eyes. Let's hear a couple people. What kinds of feelings did you have? Just pausing and going, oh, I so love him. I so love her. Our grandma, just, what did you feel? Just a couple people. Safe.
Safe and like I'm home.
And home. Okay. All right. Write those two words down, please. Safe and home. Mm-hmm. What'd you feel?
I felt like an expansion in my chest and a warmth.
Kind of over your heart, especially?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Great.
I felt like my body was giggling.
Giggling. I love that. All over or just especially kind of heart, over heart? Yeah, great. Others? Just real quickly. And live streamers, we'd love to hear kind of what happened just when you just paused and went inside and thought of somebody who really loves you. What did you feel in your body? Because the information that Donnie's talking about is in your body. So if you're going to be successful, if you're not paying attention to your body, you may make a certain level of success, but you will not, one, feel completely fully in your purpose, nor will you fully come into your potential of being the success in the world, even monetarily, without these things. So these tools are essential for you. You know, we just spent how many days talking about high-level sales and moving into our greatness. You know, you're not going to get into that unless you start adding the missing thread, the body, and listening to the wisdom of the body. So what else just happened?
You have people online who said that thinking of people that they love surprisingly brought up fear and scarcity.
Fear and scarcity.
Huh.
Great. Joy. Where'd you feel the joy in your body?
I felt it in my heart.
In your heart.
It was
Okay.
just very warm and just
Okay.
joyous.
A lot of heart stuff happening. Yeah. This
Like a tuning
vibrating
fork, waves vibrating, but it started in my heart and it went out through my
all the way
crown.
up.
I don't know. I've not felt that
Cool.
before.
It's from
when
heart
thinking
through
of
your
someone.
crown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I wish we had a week with you all, but yeah. But we'll do the best with we can. All right. Cool. All right. So now go back, close your eyes. I want you to think about paying your bills. So your bills are in front of you, whether you do it on computer, online, whether you have somebody else doing it for you, whether those are paper bills still. Notice what you feel in your body as you imagine yourself paying your bills. That didn't take long, did it? All right, open your eyes. Take a big breath. Because part of what we want to teach you, even if they're just quickie little Band-Aids to give you tasters for, write this down. Write these things down. You can't, I can't stay in my story if I breathe, and I mean really breathe. If I move, if I make sounds, if I hydrate well, if I get into the sunlight with some sunscreen on probably, and if I eat whole foods that really nourish me. But those last three are kind of the sub things. The other three you can access instantaneously at any time. You know, unless you're dead, you can still breathe. So, I just felt, well, you know, your story's up. You may not have time to get into what's the story all about and how do I unpack it and release it and set myself free and break the contract and step into something new experience. But you do have time to breathe. So let's all stop for a second, even before you check in and tell me about what your bills felt like. So let's all breathe. In fact, put your hands over your belly. I call this full belly breathing. So see, I'm not posing for some, you know, I'm letting my belly go out. Feel your belly expand. And if you're uncomfortable with your belly expanding, then we've got another story. There are lots of stories. Be gentle and kind. We may kind of bring little spotlights to a lot of different stories. Just be gentle and kind. First step in healing is compassion. So compassion with yourself. A couple more breaths. Let's hear you all. Let's hear your out breath as well as your in breath. A few more moans and groans. Anything that paying your bills brought up, you're going to let it out with this sound. Whatever sound. Let's do it one more time. Good. If we're not, one of my teachers used to say, if you're not having fun, you're not there. So if you're not having fun, then the point of being embodied in this lifetime and having this lifetime's experience of energy and being on the planet, it's all about having fun. If you're not having fun, spirit means for you to have a lot of fun. Okay, let's come back to my horrid question. So what, in people on live stream, what did you feel when I just asked, when you sit down to pay your bills, what do you feel in your body? Let's hear some popcorn here and as well as from live stream. Yeah.
I felt fear, like my heart fell into my stomach. Like it was like a weird feeling in my stomach.
Kind of your heart dropped into your stomach. And what did your stomach feel like?
Just queasy, very just unsettled.
Okay. And was it literally stomach or lower or
Stomach.
just
Just my stomach area.
right in here?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Write this down. So as we go along, I'm going to do more popcorn, but write this down. Where, the location of where you're experiencing these sensations or feelings in your body is part of trying to tell you the message system of what the truth is. It is the place, to shorthand it, it's the place where the body story is. So if you're feeling something in your belly, when you think about that fear went here, it dropped from your heart, so you probably were in your compassion before when you were feeling, you know, grandma or your lover or whoever, you know, and it dropped into here, so the fear dropped into here, and what is this? This is your place of personal power. And I heard for 3 days, especially all you women standing up and saying, I'm powerful, I'm stepping into my power, yay! And you still have this story. So we want to help shift this so that yay becomes more consistent, a message that's going out to the universe. So write this down as well. What I put out, I get back. Simple, spiritual truth in almost every sacred text of every sacred religion. What I put out, I'm going to get back. So if you're writing your bills and feeling fear in your belly, what you're putting out to the universe is whatever that story is. So just even to soften it, you're with your stories. I know some of you are kind of have a spiritual path that has many different kinds of ideas. Pray over your bills. Bless your bills. Bless the people who are going to receive your money. Pray over your checks, or as you're doing your meditate and send some good energy. I am giving so that I might receive more fully and abundantly. Freely, freely I give, freely, freely I receive. So that you're beginning, even just on a cognitive level, to change what's happening energetically. We haven't gotten to the story, you just know the story's here. So in the work, if you'll be patient with us, we may not help you get to all the stories, but at least, one, you'll know that you have stories, you know that there are some locations for the stories, you know that there are some tools for you to soften the stories, and then what I'd have you write down is just the word contract. So the story is a contract that you've made with yourself sometime in your life in response to what was going on environmentally, especially growing up before, from 0 to 7, but any kind of experiences that were peak experiences, that were painful any time in your life. Could have been a week ago. You could have had a car accident a week ago that was just traumatizing. As an adult, there's probably a story, but it's also probably related to a story from the past. Big breath. Anybody else, real quickly, about just what came up from about sitting with paying bills? Anybody? I pointed at you. I guess I was reading your energy like I'm really not wanting to tell you, but here it is.
I got panic, actually,
Panic, okay.
and obligation.
Okay, so panic, and panic
fear.
was kind of high up, over your
Yeah.
heart, almost over your throat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so do you ever get congested in that area? Okay, do you ever have trouble speaking your truth in love? If you're pausing, it's yes. Okay, if we have to qualify anything, there's a story there. So my full yes, no, I really, okay, then good. So this is kind of, what I'm giving you are some really quick ways to do some compassionate self-reading. And doing your compassionate self-reading, then you can show up and you can do, think about the 4 women who were just up here. From Ina and Michelle and Sherry. I told her, I said, don't forgive me if I get all blurry because I kind of listen to spirit and the energy that's going on in the room. And Martine, all 4 of those women, powerful women, yes? Survived and thrived through all kinds of life challenges. You want to study those women. You want to know how they got through it all. And I can tell you that for some of them, in part of their process, whether they ever name it as body story work or not, has been body story work. Yeah, Yeah, great. Well, that's good. Cool. All right. Anybody else just about what happened around paying bills?
Anything online?
So many things online. Hold on one second. Let me pull them back up. So, anger, tightness, grateful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So the people who said anger and tightness, I would have them, where did you feel that? So again, what we're after is location. Location's going to start giving you some clues. You know, everybody's talking about cracking the code. You know, you crack the code for this and that. Yeah. Well, your body is ever trying to give you messages about the truth that's going to set you free. The stuff that's going to move you into healing, success, intimacy of relationship, that kind of connection, spiritual connection that Martine was talking about with the bear. You know, that doesn't just happen. You know, that happens out of this cultivated experience of being open, and if you've got a shield up, you can't do that. But most of us have shields up around various things in our life. So even if success, just like Donny's imagery of, you know, money's just trying to pour down upon us. You know, spirit, you always see the lilies, you know. If the lilies can be cared for, certainly I can be. You know, so wealth and abundance and money, all of that prosperity is trying to come to us. But, you know, if you've got your umbrella up instead of your catchman, or if you had your shield out so that you're not receiving the gift that somebody's trying to give you, it's not going to get to you. That's what body stories do. That they've helped us, they've been our coping mechanism, they've been the very thing that's helped us get through our life to this point. But they're not serving us anymore, especially if you want to come into your greatness. Big breath. Did they say where in their body? Anybody? I mean
Oh, interestingly, they haven't yet.
Okay, that's okay. So, how much time we got left?
10 minutes.
Oh,
Goody.
okay. So, I want you to have some experiences with your body. And if nothing else, you know, and I know our beloved Lindsay kind of goes crazy when I do this exercise, but I'm doing it anyway. If you'd all stand up. And Martine, glad you're back in the room because you're kind of the perfect, you know, your thing was just the perfect segue. But I mean, we couldn't have designed the thing better today. I mean, you think about how every talk has built on every talk, and what's it had? What are some of the threads that are? It's about surviving and thriving. It's about facing your fear, you know, and coming out the other side, having that courage to commit to not just surviving, but thriving. So we're going to do an exercise. It comes from a tradition called Aikido. Aikido is all about taking the energy that's coming at you, and instead of becoming a victim of it, you actually harmonize it. So even conceptually, that probably like, huh? But that's because we've learned, especially I have learned in the West, in my experiences growing up, you know, I was abused as a kid, you know, those kinds of things. So did I ever have a lot of stories? And is that why I can teach you? Yes, because I've healed them. But, you know, it's this energy comes to us. And as we're trying to step up really big, you were talking about, are people going to leave you? They absolutely will leave you. Or somebody was talking about it in this table, about as I really step up and get big, people are not going to be vibrating at the same level. What's going to feel like energy coming at you? Because they're going to say, you know, I don't like you anymore. I don't like who you've become anymore. I don't want to be with you anymore. Or they won't even do you that kindness, and they won't even tell you that. They just won't be there. So does that bring up a story in the room? Ah, I'm going to get abandoned. Ah, and who else was about aloneness? The other side of that is the people who vibrate at the same level, you're going to be a magnet to. The clients that you desire to serve, who desire to have your service, you're going to be a magnet to. So as we do this kind of clearing, opening up, and breaking contracts work, that's more and more what you're going to experience. So back to the exercise. You with me?
Yes.
Cool. I just, jump in at any point.
Okay.
Here it goes. It goes like this. It's big breath. So big breath in. Big breath in. You just about have the mechanics parts of it. So big breath in, and the exhale is where you're stepping out and opening your arms. So you can even if you're not doing quite, just notice what you're feeling in your body. Let's do it a couple more times. Maybe even close your eyes just to do it, so nobody's watching whether you're doing it. One more time. Great. Popcorn real quick. Just, oh, okay. What did anybody feel? Real quickly. What's that? Relief. Expansion. Grounded. Good. Anybody feel like vulnerable? Ooh, cool. So the other side, and I just got the word, we only have a couple minutes. So the other side goes like this. I'll do it that way. Do it with me, real quick. Great. What you feel in your body, real quick? Power. Just energy shooting out of you. Boundaries. Great, great. So for you to be a successful entrepreneur, both of those have to feel good. You wake up in the morning, you're about to do a launch for something, or you're sending out something, or you're going to talk to a potential VIP client. Do this exercise. Am I feeling like really open and available, or am I kind of feeling vulnerable and scared when I do this? Because most of us have some abuse stories. So, welcome. No, I'm not sure. Well, don't get on that call unless you do at least some breathing to kind of shift it. But shift as much as you can before you get on the call so you can come back into the powerful part. So you want to feel comfortable in your skin with both of those. If you're not comfortable with both of them, if one of them feels awkward or vulnerable or scary or brings up an emotion that's just not like loving and expansive, then you know that's the part of you that needs some attention that day. And that's the kind of healing that needs to be attended to that day before you do whatever it is that you're doing and gifting the world. So we're running out of time, aren't we? Thank you for doing that.
Yes, we're not done
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
Go ahead and have a seat. We actually have 3 minutes left.
Great.
So go ahead and have a seat. And
Body.
Body. So I'm going to give you one little tool that you can use right away to kind of do a self-litmus test. So sitting in your seat, just closing your eyes and just sitting calmly, what do you feel when I say this to you? Feel what you feel in your body when I say chocolate chip cookies. Chocolate chip cookies. What do you feel in your body and where when I say this next word? Whatever word you use to evoke spirit, whether that's the beloved, Jesus, any other word that you have, grandma, the name of your partner. How do you feel that in your body? Whatever word that is. The Spirit has many names, as we know. And then lastly, what do you feel in your body when I say this last word? Money. Notice the change you felt in your body. Did you feel a little tighter? Did something feel maybe in your stomach, your heart area? That gives you a litmus test as to where your money story might be, where your body story might be. Here's the way you can move further with resolving that. Sherry, if you'd be so kind to pass those out. There are actually two opportunities we have today. The first one, and it also applies, of course, to those of you online, is if you're not quite sure, option number one is to take 30 minutes with us and allow us to speak to you on the phone for 30 minutes. And that's our easiest and most affordable way to work with us. It's normally $127. For this summit price, we're offering that 30-minute consultation with us for $97. And in 30 minutes, we find we can get right to the heart of the matter of what's going on with you and suggest at least one or two tools that you can use right away. So it's a very easy and affordable way to work with us and to get some results pretty quickly. In addition, there's a bonus to that offer, in that before you'd come and talk to us for those 30 minutes, we want to offer you our body story inventory. This is an online questionnaire that we give you that helps you and us to focus in exactly where that body story might be rather quickly. So you do this ahead of time, and that is a bonus. We normally charge extra for that, but that's going to be a bonus we're throwing in. For those of you that just are not quite sure, that is the option you might want to choose. Now, as what we have found, and we're very grateful for this, that every time we speak, there are those that are ready to work with us, that know they have to work with us. People, and it's usually just a very small set of people that have heard us will say, I knew that we had to work with you.
Absolutely.
For those people that are ready to move forward is option number two. In option number two, you get everything you got in number one, the 30-minute consultation, the body story inventory, but in addition, in number two, you get 3 sessions with us. Each session is 60 minutes, so 3 60-minute sessions.
On the phone.
On the phone or on Skype, yes. That's normally for $12.97, but for Lindsay and the summit, we want to do it for just $9.97, so we are discounting that. And those of you who are ready to work with us, you already know who we are. And for those of you that are on the virtual land, that
virtual land,
that offer is equally available to you. And I've written my email up here, and perhaps Lindsay would be so kind to put it in on the chat box. Just write to me at Donny@themissingthread.com, DONNY @themissingthread.com, and just tell me which one you would like, or if you have any questions, and I will send you the link.
They can PayPal you also at Donny@themissingthread.com.
That's true. That is also my PayPal address as well. And
can I sneak
please.
one in?
Okay,
you know,
sneak.
so the people who were here for the summit for 3 days, and you kind of know what's been brewing with us, and that we do these magnificent kind of VIP days.
Yes.
And know that the price that we named for you for those VIP days is going to change soon. So should you want to come and do a day-long kind of overhaul, which is magnificent, sitting face-to-face with us and getting to the core of what these contracts are, breaking them, having new experiences, you know, kind of couching that all in some care of being in our presence, which of course is the yummiest way to do all of this work. So I just gave you a third really high-scale option.
Yes, and you get to come to San Francisco.
You get to come to San Francisco and be with us. So if that's appealing, also write Donny, and we'll have a consultation with you about that.
And we're a minute over.
We're a minute over. Can I do just 30 seconds? 30 seconds, because this is just too... What was Amanda's word?
Plummy.
Plummy. I love that. Don't you get all warm? And so think about it. What sells? What sells is genuine and heartful, relational. I mean, is Plummy not like, you know? So you think of Amanda, you think, oh, I want to buy her stuff because I love her. So put your hands over your heart chakra. So there are sounds and tones for each one of these kind of areas of your body. And I love this one. This one is the tone yum. So we're going to close our time with you with just yum. Let's do on the out breath. We'll do it 3 times. Yum is the extension of our out breath. So big breath in. Yum. Again. Yum. One last time. Yum. Aren't we fun?
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.